Okay, I'm going to discuss some ideas about secret societies and the truth behind your existence, my existence, our existence. And I have some quotes from secret societies, people who are expert on secret societies, studied them, people who are in secret societies. This one says, they are the invisible powers, meaning the people in the secret societies, behind the thrones of earth. Men are but marionettes dancing while the invisible ones pull the strings. We see the dancers, but the mastermind that does the work remains concealed. So he's saying that the people in the secret societies are controlling the world. And it's pretty easy to see if you get into this a little bit. Now, one thing that's super important is in all time, truth has been hidden under symbols. Symbols are ingenious veils that cover the truth. Well, guess what writing is? Writing is symbolism. Imagine you can speak a language, but you can't read or write. What just happened over back in the day, when you're talking Roman society, Greek society, Babylon, Sumeria, there was less than 10% of the population that could read. So if you think about it, even if you can talk and speak fluently in a language, if you can't read it, the symbols that are written down, somebody could write down something to his buddy, hey, let's jump this dude when I count to 3, and hand it to him. Oh, here, let me show you this first. Here, look at this. Then hands it to his buddy. You can't read it. You don't know what it says. His buddy reads it. Oh, okay, we're going to jump him when he counts to 3. Okay. And you're sitting there going, what are they doing? And they start going 1, 2, 3, and then they jump you. And you have no idea what's coming because you can't read. You couldn't read the note. You couldn't read the secret symbols. Now, in the modern day, everything's been put out in front of you. Over time, the people who are controlling the world, the invisible powers behind the thrones of earth, have slowly marched out of their cave. They came from a cave. They came from meeting in the caves 38,000 plus years ago. They're called the Black Death Cult. That's the invisible powers. See, you don't have to get caught up in Illuminati, get caught up in Freemasonry, get caught up in the rituals, get caught up in what they're saying, because it's all a lie. Because secret orders, all secret orders and associations had 2 doctrines. One concealed and reserved for the masters, the other public. So it doesn't matter what you're studying, you're never going to get to the bottom of it. If I've looked at these symbols for decades, okay? I've studied the depth of the symbols, I've studied what they mean, I've studied what they mean here, I've gone back to where they originated. And what I found is it's the same group of people doing it. It's like a sleight of hand. It's like, here, look over here, when it's really over here. The 2 doctrines, the false doctrine and the true doctrine. So you're never going to be able to figure it out, but you can figure out who's doing it. It's the Black Death Cult. It's a group I call the Black Death Cult because they're a cult of individuals that came out of the caves of Western Europe, what we now know as Western Europe, 38,000 years ago. They killed Neanderthal, destroyed Neanderthal, and took over the world. That's where they started. In every ancient civilization you see that you can find, going back 11,000 years to Gobekli Tepe and further, They're all Black Death cult. They're all created by Black Death cult. All these solid buildings, all these solid temples, Black Death cult. Look at ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt, they're obsessed with death. Obsessed. And believe me, the normal citizen in ancient Egypt doesn't have anything written on a wall. Only the kings, only the pharaohs, only the people, the priests, only the people in charge, the upper echelon, once again, the top 10%. And everything they write, almost all of it pertains to death, has death involved in it, has symbolism of death. Think about it. They made more mummies, objects of death, than any society ever. They were a death cult. They're a death cult. So the Black Death cult is right in front of you, and they're laughing at you. They're laughing at me because they're in control. They created the game. They're the invisible power behind the thrones of the earth. And you're not going to know what their doctrine really says, what their agreement really is. You're never going to know. Just like you're never going to actually know who they are. Because no one is to know the identity of those who have received the secrets. The true adept and initiate shall reveal his identity to no man unless that one is worthy to receive it. In other words, if you ain't in the club, you are never, ever going to know who's in the club. Okay? And when you're in the club, the secret societies bind their initiates to inviolable secrecy, avenging with death the betrayal of their sacred trust. So when you get in there, in that club, and you betray somebody, you betray the club, death. Think about it. Edward Snowden. You don't think America would take his life away if he showed back up here? I'm in America right now. And I don't mean shoot him, I don't mean kill him, I don't mean execute him, but if you lock somebody up in jail for the rest of their life, isn't that taking their life away? That's Black Death cult, man. Take your life away. They invented the cage. They invented the human cage, the Black Death cult. The Black Death cult has created every single tool of death you could never dream of. Handcuffs, guillotines, Iron Maidens, drawing and quartering, machetes, swords, guns, 50 caliber machine guns, bombs, cluster bombs, an atomic bomb. They were all thought of and created by the Black Death cult to kill you, to control you, to violence you. Okay? So if you're in the society, if you're in the club, you never get to say who else is in the club. And if you do, look at Julian Assange. Look at him. He said right here, here's who's in the club, here's what they're doing. And guess what happened? That's right, he's been locked up for 7 years in an embassy. When he got out, immediately threw him in handcuffs, immediately threw him in a cage. That guy's never getting out of jail. What is this? This is 2020? Mark my words, he's never getting out. Never. That guy will spend the rest of his life in jail. He's dead. He's dead. If you're slowly withering in a cage and you cannot reproduce, you cannot go do anything in the world, isn't that taking away your life? Of course it is. So what you have to understand is the secret orders have two doctrines, one concealed and the other public. Okay, now I'm going to show you how they do this right in front of your face here. I'm going to show you how they lie. That's the public doctrine. See, the public doctrine is a lie. You're getting lied to 24/7. Why? So they can uphold their control and power through their private documents, through their private secret meetings, through their private whatever, and they lie to you when you're in the public. They lie to you. You ask them point blank, are you in Skull and Bones? Oh, well, that's so secret, I can't tell you. Remember when John Kerry and George W. Bush Jr. were running for president, and they said, "Oh, aren't you in this secret organization?" And they both said, "Well, that's a secret." Ha ha ha. They never said they were, because that would have betrayed their secret society. That would have betrayed if they answered yes. That's a betrayal. So they tell you lies. Oh, that's so secret, I can't tell you. In other words, I'm not, or I might not be, or whatever. When in reality, of course, the truth is they are in they are in Skull and Bones. They were in Skull and Bones. And Skull and Bones is a secret fraternity that's up in the Ivy League school. You can look it up. So now here's an example of the Public Doctrine right here. This is a guy, God bless his soul, don't know who he is, but he was in a court battle for 3 years with the government. And he filmed this video right after the government. And like I've always said, the government is not the government. The government is people pretending to be a government. So once again, you have the Public Doctrine, which is a lie. We're the government. We're government. We're government officials. The government's doing this. The government's doing that. That's a lie. The truth is, there are people saying they're the government, doing all kinds of things, hiding behind the fact that they're the government. There is no government. There's only people pretending to be the government, or people acting as the government. There is no government. It's just like Facebook. Facebook would be blank if you weren't posting on it. The government would not exist unless people stood up and took part in it and said, "We are the government," and then enacted it. Government's blank. It doesn't exist. There's only people that pretend to be government. So here's this guy. Like I said, really good guy. I mean, he's fighting for his rights. He's fighting for his country. He's fighting for his freedom. And he goes to court over a case. And he just lost the case. They just found out after 3 years, case you lose. Okay? And here's this quote. I love this quote because it really bears to the brunt of what I'm trying to tell you right now. These guys, notice he doesn't say government. The guys who are representing to be government, see, he nails it. He doesn't say the government is out of control. No, he says these guys, and he's talking about guys who are pretending to be government. These guys are out of control. They're completely of the view that they own your institutions, your country, your rights, your constitution, to do with whatever the hell they like. Now, who is they? Who are these guys? Black Death Cult, man. Black Death Cult, 100%. You don't have to name them. Don't even worry about naming them. There's so many of them. You couldn't name them all if you wanted to. Just understand it's the Black Death Cult, and they're in it. This guy's not in it. He got a rude awakening. He says they're out of control. They're of the view that the institutions, that your institutions, your country, your rights, your constitution are theirs to do with whatever they like. Now, I got to tell this guy something, buddy. It's their constitution. It's their rights. It's their country. It's their everything. They own it. It's not that they think they can do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. They're not looking for your permission. They don't care about you. There's no you. That's the lie. See, this guy is operating under the lie that he has a country, he has rights, he has a constitution. No, buddy. No. They have a constitution. They have a country. They have given you your rights. And anytime they want to, they'll take it from you. Anytime they want to take your land, they'll take it from you. Anytime they want to take your rights, they'll take it from you. Anytime they want to take your constitution, they'll take it from you because it's their constitution. They don't think they can do whatever the hell they like. They know they can do whatever the hell they like. They're 100% sure of it. And the reason why is because they operate with violence. The Black Death cult will violence this guy in 1 second. They will kill this guy so quick. They will kill his partner so quick. But this guy will never kill them. See, this guy showed up to a court to talk. And that's another lie. You can come into court and you can talk and you can get a fair trial. He says in this video, okay, he says he was under the impression that a judge, this guy got all of his illusions shattered real quick. He was under the illusion that the judge was an impartial referee for two teams. And then he says, what I found out was underneath the judge's robe, he had the other guy's jersey on. Once again, the secret society, the judge and the prosecutor and all these guys that are together, they're in on it. They know each other. They took the oath. You didn't. You didn't take the oath, buddy. You ain't in on it. Okay, so yeah, he had the other guy's jersey on the whole time under the robe, 100%. And it said Black Death Cult on it. Judge wears what? A black robe. Okay? Symbolic. Very symbolic. Black Death Cult, 100%. 100%. So this guy right here, I hate to tell you, is under the illusion that he has a constitution, he has rights, he has a country, he has private property, he has freedom. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're being controlled every second. You don't own anything. You just think you own anything. So here's the lie. Here's the lie. You're a free person. You can do whatever you want to. You're protected by a constitution. You have rights. You can get a fair trial. Here's the truth. You can't own anything because the game is set up for them to own everything. You have no rights because anytime they want to change the game on you, they'll change it and take your rights. You don't have a constitution because anytime they want to rule something with some policy, some judge, some anything, they'll do it. And if that doesn't work, they'll just violence you. So in other words, if you get to the point where you're screaming in court saying, no, my constitution is real, F you, the bailiff will jump on you, handcuff you, throw you out, take you to jail, beat you, tase you. And if you try to hurt him, guess what happens? More bailiffs jump on you to kill you, and they will kill you. Okay, they will violence you. That's the truth. The lie is, oh, you're going to get a fair trial and everything's going to be good and you have rights and everything. The truth is, you're never going to get a fair trial. You don't have any rights, and anytime they want to, they will violence you. They being the Black Death Cult. You think you're free? You think you're free? You think you have a constitution? You think that's your institution, buddy? You think that court is your institution? You're wrong. You think you have rights? You don't have any rights. Look at this. Here's a guy that's super rich. He's a billionaire. You would think, well, he can do whatever he wants. He can, take a plane anywhere. He can do anything he wants to. Well, guess what? He can't. You think you can do whatever you want? Name your kid whatever you want? No, you can't name your kid whatever you want. He had to change a kid's name. Grimes and Elon Musk changed baby's name to something, I can't read it, to comply with law. To comply with law. Now, what is law? Law is symbols. In all time, the truth has been hidden under symbols. So he had to bow to the symbols. He put up his own symbols, some neat little symbols. And the government, the people in control, said, no, you can't use those. You can't use those symbols. These are the symbols you have to use. And this goes to your name. A lot of people really identify with their name. You know, you think, well, that's my name. You answer to your name. But there's a difference between calling somebody something and naming somebody something. So once again, here's the truth. The truth is we have called each other something for eons, for 250,000 years plus. We've called each other something. We call each other something. We do. Human beings. That's how we interact. Now the lie is you have a name. The lie is here's your name. No. Think about when you are a baby, your mama may call you baby Bubby. That's not your actual name, is it? That's what she calls you. See, human beings call each other things. We don't name each other. The Black Death Cult names you. And they name you with what? Symbols. So your mother calls you baby Bubba. Baby Bubby. Baby Bubby. And then when you're 6, 8 years old, she calls you baby Bubs. Because you're getting a little older, you're getting a little bigger, so she calls you baby Bubs. That's what she calls you. It's not on your birth certificate. Then when you get to be 15, 16, you get to be kind of grown up, she calls you Bubs. That's what she calls you. So you can say, well, my mother used to call me baby Bubby. But that's not, you were never named that. That's what we call each other. See, that can change. It can evolve. It can grow. We can participate with it. A name is stuck in this symbolic, these symbols. It's stuck in symbolism. Okay? Socrates never wrote anything down because he said when you write something down, it becomes cemented. It becomes stuck. It becomes unchangeable. And that's what the Black Death Cult wants you to be. Unchangeable. They want you to be a source for them to live off of. They want your name to remain the same your whole life so they can prosecute you under it. They can charge you under it. They can tax you under it. They can claim that you do whatever you want to do for them under that name. Any business, any money you're borrowing, they can track you under that name, which is linked to symbols. They can't track you, Jew, because they don't know what your mom called you. Only you and your mom know that, and people around you. That's what makes it so special when you get called something by somebody. Whereas a name is symbols assigned to you by the Black Death Cult to track you throughout your life. This guy right here, he's a government official. Once again, he's sitting in front of a White House, right? He's a government official, right? In other words, he's a guy that's saying, oh no, it's not me, it's the government. I'm not doing it. He says, our human capital stock is ready to get back to work. Our human capital stock. If that doesn't tell you right there that you're being used, that you're a piece of cattle, you're a piece of meat to these people. To these people, I mean Black Death Cult. This is Black Death Cult 101. Because if you told this guy, you know what, get out of here, I didn't want to hear you. Move out of the way. Guess what would happen? He would call people to violence you. If you said, no, dude, I don't want to listen to anything you say, F you, forget about it. What would happen? He would call people to violence you. If you said, you know what, I don't accept that you're even in a government. I don't even accept this government. I don't accept paying you. I don't accept anything about you. What would happen? He and his buddies in the Black Death Cult will violence you. Try not to give them their money. Go ahead. Try not to pay them their tax when they want it. Try not to produce the documents they want to see when you're somewhere. You will get violence. Try not to produce their symbols for them. To show them, hey, these are my symbols. You'll get violenced. Our human capital stock is ready to get back to work. Our capital stock
lots of reasons to believe that we can get going.
Isn't destroyed, and our capital stock isn't destroyed, meaning just stock, meaning like bonds and stock market and things like that. But then he runs into our human capital stock. So first he starts off with like bonds and different things.
It is ready to get back to work.
Our capital stock
And so that
hasn't been destroyed. Our human capital. So you got capital stock and you got human capital. Which one are you? Which one am I? I'm human capital. Now who's saying it? Notice he doesn't look at himself as being human capital stock. The Black Death Cult never looks at themselves. It's like a lawyer or a judge. They're never going to get in trouble. They're never going to do anything wrong from their viewpoint, because they're in the club. This guy's in the club. He ain't human capital stock. You're human capital stock because you ain't in the club. And he's telling you right to your face. See, here's the lie. Here's the lie. Here's the lie. He's in front of a White House. The White House is there and the president's there to look out for you, and you have a constitution and you have a government that's here to look out for you, and you can pursue life, liberty, and freedom. Here's the truth. You're capital stock. You are cattle. You are owned. You belong to them. You can do nothing that they don't already have drawn out for you to do. You can't name your baby what you want to name your baby. And when you do name your baby, you have to write symbols down on a piece of paper that they authenticate with their, what I call voice-u. Voice-u is any line, dot, or color made by man. So all symbols are made of voice-u. Every single one of them. So when they stamp that birth certificate, when they stamp it with that official seal, that's voice-u. There's a Bob Marley song called 3 a.m. Roadblock, where the Jamaican government blocks a road in the jungle and out of the jungle to find people going to live in the jungle and assigning them birth certificates, putting their symbols down onto their paper, using their voice-u, their symbols, to make them part of the capital human stock. And Bob Marley says, "You ain't got no birth certificate on me." Meaning he sees himself as being free of being human capital stock, because he doesn't have his symbols written down on a piece of paper where they can count him, where they can count him as human capital stock, where this guy can count him and his buddies can count him as human capital stock. He's free. Now, so when you're looking at the public doctrine, understand that all secret orders and association have two doctrines, one concealed and reserved for the masters, the other public. So your whole life, you're getting fed the lie, the absolute lie of the public doctrine. The public doctrine is a lie. Almost literally everything you've been told, you have been taught so many lies that you think it's the truth. I think it's the truth. I'm the same way. I have the same struggles as anybody. It's hard to see the actual truth because you have been told so many lies by these people. And these people being the Black Death Cult. So here's the lie. You're free. You can do whatever you want. You're in a free country. You have rights. You can do whatever you want. That's the lie. That's the lie. You're in a free country. You can do whatever you want. You're a free person. You're doing good for society. You're contributing. You're having a job. You're making money. You're providing for your family. This is all a lie. The truth is, there is a cult of people called the Black Death Cult that rules over every one of your actions, rules your life, rules your job, rules your property, rules your movements. And they do it under the threat of violence, and the threat of death. That's the truth.